What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a special client interview today. This is actually my very first client, the first dude who actually trusted me with his remote training business to get it off the ground. Drew Richard. He's got over 100,000 followers now on Instagram. I think he's just said he's gained 1,000 over the past week, which is absolutely insane. He's growing like crazy, super hot, and he's been super successful since joining my program. Without further ado, Drew, if you want to introduce yourself, maybe tell a little bit more background about you, and then we'll go from there.
What's up? Thanks for having me, Steve. About me. I'm from middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and I've been doing hitting coaching for like the last 3 years. But yeah, just been working and trying to get better at the communication side of coaching, and that's my brand, is just the communication and trying to help each individual hitter how they need to be helped. And it might be a little bit different for every single person, but that's what the fun is in the job.
Definitely, bro. And you're really good at it, dude. You have like a really interesting niche, right? Like typically you work with players that are a little bit younger, but you've even worked with pro guys. Maybe talk a little bit more about like who you work with and like kind of what your philosophies are.
So my brand is all about being simple and explaining it to you like you're 5 years old, because that's how I learn. I've always learned like I have to be talked to like I'm 5 and really breaking down the information so I can understand it. So that's how I communicate to my hitters. And I think that type of learning applies for just about any age. Just like you said, my ages that I've worked with people as young as 5 years old to 65 years old. And with that, obviously there's different levels of communication, but you'd be surprised. It's like seriously the same type of simplicity and breaking down that everyone understands. Because if you want to do something and you want to learn, you have to completely understand it. It can't be confusing. It can't be, okay, like I think this is what I'm supposed to do. You have to firmly grasp it. And it doesn't matter if it's that 5-year-old or a AA baseball player. I think we all kind of learn in a similar fashion. Everyone's a little bit different on how they process it, of course, but that's my brand, is to try to find the best way that you can click and get that light bulb moment.
Definitely. No, and you're obviously really good at it. You have a ton of followers. So, I guess like what we can talk about, dude, is maybe just talk about, I know you've been doing the in-person stuff for a while and you've been growing the following. Maybe talk about, where you were at when we first started, like your experience with online coaching, and we can go from there.
Yeah. So, I've done in-person coaching for 3 years now, and I still do to some degree too. I want to be able to help the community out however I can. But I've been doing in-person lessons for probably, a little over 2 years before I even started thinking about the online. I just was using the social media as like, cool, I get some followers. Awesome. That makes me feel good. Like people will care about me type of stuff. And that's awesome and all, but wasn't really monetizing at all. And I didn't know how, I didn't know what I needed to do to make that happen. But I tried it on my own, like just had my own Kajabi, my own website, try to piece it together by myself. That is not me. Like I can't, like I'm just not good at building that stuff. I call myself a one-trick pony. I'm good at coaching and communicating and that type of stuff. Everything else is just really tough for me. So I was like, I tried to put it together by myself, and over probably like 6 months, I made like $6,000 total. But after, at that point, I like talked to you because I met you through not even like online, like searching you as an online person. I met you through my good friend Ian Jenkins, who's your good friend too. And we first met on a podcast where we were just talking ball, right?
Yeah.
So got to meet you. We all vibed really good. So I was like, Steve's the man, right? And then Jank was talking about like, hey, like he's doing this online training, and like, man, he does really good with it. So contacted you, and yeah, the rest is history, man.
For sure, dude. I think it's kind of funny because I was always under the impression that anybody with like a big following was just killing it online, was just raking it, just because like they had followers, right? But obviously, as you know, it's not that like it doesn't work like that. Maybe it is that easy and it is that simple, but it's not like you're not just owed the money because you have followers, right? So maybe
No.
you want to talk about like, the things that we were able to implement when we first started working together, and maybe how your first month went.
Oh yeah, it went crazy right off the rip because I can't remember how many followers I had. I still had a pretty good sized following at that time, but again, like I wasn't monetizing at all. Like I didn't know how to do it. You go to my page and you're like, "Yep, this guy coaches baseball. Cool." Like I feel like that was my profile. But then yeah, when we talked about it, it was like, "Hey, have to make your profile look a little bit more like, hey, there's something here. Like it's not just this is free information. I can also help you out too." But then also like you helping me out, helping me build out like a landing page and making sure that there was something to go to if you wanted help, and also to make content that would drive that and drive people to hey, this guy can help me. Because I had been making content for views for a long time, but I hadn't been making content to like convert or like make people want to get that personal coaching, like make sure that there was an offer for that personal coaching.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, then I remember we put out like a post about it, just like, hey, you might be wasting time with your in-person lessons and let me help you out. And yeah, as soon as that went on, that first month went crazy. I think the first month it was like a 15K month. It
Yeah.
was just, it went off the rails right away. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was just like, okay, there is something here. So no, it was incredible right from the jump, but making it easier for people to get a hold of me and want my coaching and more importantly, like me being able to help so many different people. I thought it was really cool. And just like, I have clients from the United Kingdom and stuff. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on, man?
Yeah, no, that's sick. And obviously, like we do a lot of talking in my program about like, making the bread, right? Making the sales. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, bro, like we all want to make money. Like, let's not kid ourselves. We're all grown men. We all got to provide. But I really like how you said, like, it's cool how you get to work with a bunch of different types of people. Maybe if you want to talk about like what online training has been able to do for you, not just, for you and your family, but also like the relationships you've been able to develop with people all over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm coaching in the first place. It's like seeing that light bulb moment and understanding that you have an impact that's not just baseball and, being a role model or being a person that someone looks up to, that type of thing. I think I take huge pride in something like that because in person, you still get that option. But again, most people have their once a week lesson. This way, I'm having communication with these guys multiple days throughout the week. This is a real deal. Like, hey, we're on the same page. And I think that's super special, having that like daily accountability and having that type of coaching in their back pocket. They understand that I'm not just their coach, like I care about them. And I think that helps them break down that uncomfortability. And then it really opens up to see what I can help them as a coach, but just as a mentor in general. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. No, I like how you said mentor too. No, and I think people really resonate with you and your message because they can see how genuine you are. You know what I mean? Maybe like switching gears a little bit, maybe if you want to talk a little bit more about like how there's a difference between making content to get views and there's content to get people to take action, to do something if they want to work with you, right? Maybe kind of talk about that process and the shift that you've made a little bit, especially recently.
Definitely. I look at it as to be a good content creator, you have to first be pretty good at editing to some degree. Absolutely. But you pretty much have to fool people in the first couple seconds. And that's how you get views. It sucks that you have to say it that way. But if I start a video and I'm just like, hi, I'm DR Hitting. I like coaching you. Or something like, something like that. It's like 90% of people just see it, scroll. Like, think about it in yourself. Like, if you're making content, think about you as the consumer, right? You look at your phone, you're just scrolling, and you need something to like trip your just break the pattern of just nonsense, right? So that's our job as content creators, is to try to break that and to make sure that people stick around for the first 3 seconds so that they can get to the message that you have. So I think that plays regardless of if it's content that converts or for views, but that's the big key startup, is you have to be able to do that. But then from there, the difference is the views. It can be just a message, right? It can just be like, hey, this is a great drill. And that's what I was doing. I was finding great drills or like communication amongst me and the hitter, and that was a lot of my videos. And they would do really well, get a lot of views. But it's just like you watch a funny video, right? You watch a funny video, you're like, "Ha, that's awesome." You like it, you move on. You're not going to be like, I want to pay that guy to do whatever it is. There's differences there. So I would still use the same formula to try to get people to watch the video longer. But then I understood, like, hey, I got to let them know that there's something here that I can help you with. And if you don't tell them, they'll never know. And they would have to go out of their way to seek it, which that doesn't happen a lot. That doesn't happen a lot, unless if they're seeking free stuff a lot of times. But if you could put something out there like, hey, I'm offering this 4-week challenge, I know I'm going to be able to help you out. Comment this and we can get started. It's like someone's just going to be like, okay, I can all I got to do is just comment this or whatever it may be, whatever that way to get people to start. And it becomes a lot easier and convenient. And that's where the difference is from the following to being able to convert that following, is making that coaching and making that whatever you're offering feel convenient. And that's what I think the big switch was for me, is just being able to call these people out and like, hey, are you struggling with these same things? I can fix it. Here's your pain. I can fix it. Okay. And then boom, it made a big difference there.
100%. No, I love that, dude. Because I always talk about like marketing the problem and then selling the solution, right? 100%. I also like how you said, like, you use your same tactics to get people to watch the videos. But if you don't get people to stop scrolling, if you don't get people's attention, it doesn't matter how good of a message you have, right? And this is something that I've learned a lot from you and Ian, is like, dude, like, I have a lot of good things to say, but until I started like tricking people to watch my stuff, like, they weren't watching it. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter how cool it is at the 15-second mark if they don't make it to the 2-second mark. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So you got to get them there.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think a really interesting point that I want people watching this to take away is, like, dude, you have to make it convenient for people to know, number one, that you can help them, and number two, that you are willing to help them. And if they want help, this is what to do, right? You almost have to, like, I think so many people out there just assume like, oh, they should just know. Like, my viewers should just know. But it's like, dude, how are they going to know if you don't tell them, right? Like, you didn't know how to tie your shoes before somebody taught you. It's not just like, you don't just inherently know how to do pretty much anything in life. So it's like, why would it be any different on the internet when you're a complete random stranger, right? So I absolutely love that. Dude, I guess switching gears a little bit, obviously, you've had a pretty big month this month, right? Maybe talk about why you've been able to, honestly have your best month ever, and maybe talk about like why that's happened and the build up to get here.
Yeah, I think it's just fine tuning the processes. I feel like there's been an easier setup. Like I said, the convenience level. I think the convenience is really big, to have something on your profile that's like, hey, you need help? Here it is. And I think having that there is big. Part of it, obviously, I think it's just the time. Right before baseball season, people are looking for that thing. Another thing is, I've had content that's done well, and content that gets people interested in that style of coaching. So making sure that you can make videos that are relevant to what you're selling and what you are offering. And I feel like I've done a very good job over that this month, of like, my videos aren't just, hey, cool video. It's very direct. Like, hey, I'm here to help. I think the more I can give off the image that, hey, I'm here to help. You watch a video, go to my profile. Oh, he is here to help. This is what you need to do for me to be able to help. And just makes that a very easy process, where they want something, they go to my profile. Oh, he offers something, perfect. Oh, I click this, I can book a call, I can message him, perfect. I mean, and I think the convenience factor surrounding the content that is helpful and that shows that I'm here to help, kind of just played into having a month like this.
Yeah, dude. No, I've kind of seen the progression of like your content, obviously, over the last I don't know, like 5 months or something, 6 months probably. I don't know. We've known each other for longer than that, right? But I've really only paid close attention for like the past 5 or 6 months. And like just seeing how, I think a lot of people out there that are like content creators, I think what you do a really great job of, bro, like probably better than anybody out there, honestly, is like you are very clearly like, hey, I have something to sell you, but at the same time, you're still providing tons of free value, right? And I think that's why you're able to grow your account, number one, but number two, you're able to make like a lot of sales, right? Like you're making way more money than the average American doing online baseball training, which is insane, So, I mean, dude, for anybody that's out there, maybe that is either just starting out and wants to get into the online training game, or even somebody who's like considering joining my program, like what would you say to somebody like that, as you on the other side now, who's been, me, you like me, you trust me, you've had a lot of success, like what kind of advice would you have for those people?
Yeah, I mean, that's a loaded question for sure. But if a lot of people, what they struggle with is, for some reason or another, they have this shame or embarrassment stacked in the back of their head. And I'll talk on that on like the content, where you're like, oh, I don't want to put this out there because my buddy Tom will think I'm corny if I make this video. It's though I'll just say right now, those same people who thought I was corny then probably don't think the same thing right now. And if they do, it's for a whole different reason. And I think if you can just get past that, obviously cliche, but stop caring what other people think. I think if you can get past that, if you're a hard worker and you take direction well, Steez is going to make it easy for you. I really think so. And when it comes to the content side, put your embarrassment behind you. Put those videos out there. If you can help one person, you're putting a positive impact out there for them, and I think that's pretty powerful. And if you can do that while also being able to feed your family and put a roof over your head, I think that's a pretty special thing. So when it comes to advice, you're going to have to work, and you're going to have to work hard, of course, but don't let the fear of striking out, prevent you from hitting the home run. And you're not every post is going to do awesome, especially at the start, but you'll get better. And if you keep working at it and keep following those directions and find a process that works for you, there is definitely a lot of people out there that need help. I help a lot of people, but man, think about, maybe I have 30 clients, right? How many people need help out there? We're talking 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever that number is. I couldn't tell you, but man, it's not like one person takes over the entire market when it comes to this. So many more people that could be helped, and you could be the person to do it.
Definitely, dude. I absolutely love that, because there are so many people out there that need help. So many people, right? And yeah, dude. Like I've heard people say like, "Oh, online training is too good to be true," or I'm worried that your program is a scam, or different things like that. So trying to put that to end one video at a time, right? But
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You'd be surprised. Yeah, because and the thing is fun. It's funny because like you might think like oh, I'd be competing against so many other people. It's like a ton of these people that are in your program like are doing the exact same type of stuff that I'm doing. And I don't think that in any way we're competing. There's so many like one of my best friends is Ian Jenkins, and he does the same thing. And it's like I don't feel at all that. Speaking of, I just declined a call from him, but but it's, yeah, exactly. Do you think we're at each other's throats about trying to do this? No, there's so many people you can help. Everybody's looking for something. They just need a helpful hand to do it. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of people out there to help.
definitely. And the more you can, be yourself and let people into your life, the more they're going to trust you, the more likely they're going to resonate with your message. And there are 20, 30, 50, 100 people out there right now that would kill to work with you, right? And they need you. And so I say, anybody who's not doing online training is doing those kids a disservice who
Yeah.
really need them. But, obviously coming from me, it sounds like I'm just trying to sell my program. So, but, dude, I mean, is there anything maybe that you want to say or kind of wrap up with or
Yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just feel like when it comes to doing this, it might feel like, oh man, yeah, for the people who are like, oh man, Steez is just gonna take my money and run. It's like if you're gonna work and you're gonna put time into it, Steez has been nothing but extremely helpful for me ever since the start, and super communicative. If you shoot him a text message, he's gonna get you something back. If it's not something where he's just like, oh sweet, I got that payment from Doug, hell yeah, let's go. It's he gets that. I remember when I first started, it was really cool to see like that you were super invested in me and helping me out, and that's where, if you're gonna, obviously you want your return on investment, and how you get the return on the investment is if you work hard. Because I think if you get the right steps from Steez and you're working hard and you're trying to improve on your own craft, there's so many countless testimonials that he has from people like that. And if you're one of those people, I think there's a lot of potential for you.
I appreciate you saying that, bro. And for anybody that doesn't know, I'm Steez.
Yeah, Nick Neville, sorry. Yeah, but Steez, yeah.
I appreciate you so much, bro. Like, I'll say this. I'm serious, dude. When you made your first sale, I like started tearing up, like I started crying because like you kind of know like, my background and some of the things that I've been through. And like when I realized that like when you made your first sale, that's when I was like, oh my God, like this is going to work and it's going to work really well. And so I obviously have a soft spot for you, dude, because you gave me hope, and I think you're just a testament to like, look, bro, like you didn't play in the major leagues. You didn't play at Vanderbilt. You're just a guy who has learned a lot about the game, who really cares about the game and wants to help people. That's what makes you special. You know what I'm saying? Is like your care, like how much you actually want to help people, like how genuine you are, So I just want to say thank you, dude. Because yeah, I'm serious, bro. When you made your first sale, like I started crying. I couldn't believe it.
Appreciate you, Steez.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll kind of wrap it up here, but Drew, I appreciate you jumping on the channel. If you are a baseball coach and you want to learn how you can do online training too, then what I want you to do is go ahead, book in a call with me down below, fill out the application, pick a time to speak with me. Shoot me a message on Instagram if you have any questions, or go through all the client results on my Instagram, the story highlights, scroll until your thumbs are sore. It's all right there. It is real. You just got Drew right here telling you exactly how it goes. So Drew, I appreciate you jumping on the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.